everyone, these are the examples that you are going to use to copy down into your notebook. As long as you do like the first 2 or 3, that would be great. And you can pause. You should all have your headphones on, but make sure you're pausing as I'm going through. Okay, the first thing that you need to know is when you're adding fractions with unlike denominators, which is what we are doing. So if I have 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 5/8, the first thing that you need to do is you need to line it up vertically. You always have to do it going up and down because we know that we're gonna have to find a common denominator, so it's easier when they're stacked. So the first thing I'm going to do is a trick that we've been doing. So I'm looking at the number 8, and if I do multiples of 8, obviously 3 does not go into 8. Then I'm going to do 16, and I know 3 does not go into 16. So I'm going to do 24, and I know that 3 goes into 24. So I'm going to put my common denominator as 24. That's my least common multiple. Okay, so I know 8 times 3 is 24, and I know 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 8 is 24, and then 1 times 8 is 8. So now I have to add these numbers together. So I'm going to do 15 plus 8, which is going to be 23. And then your denominator always stays the same. So I have 23 over 24. I say to myself, am I able to simplify? I can't because 23 is a prime number. So my answer is 23 over 24. In my next example, I have 2/5 plus 1/2. So again, I'm going to do 2/5 plus 1/2. I'm going to stack them on top of each other, and I need to find the multiple. So 5 is my bigger number, so I'm going to do multiples of 5. So I know 2 doesn't go into 5, and then 10. 2 goes into 10, and 5 goes into 10, so it's my least common multiple. So I'm going to set this up over here. I know 2 times 5 is 10, and 1 times 5 is 5, and then 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 times 1 is 2. So if I add these up, 2 plus 5 is 7/10. And I see if I can simplify. I can't because 7 is a prime number, so it's already simplified. Okay, my next one is 3/4 plus 5/6. So I already lined it up, so I'm going to have to find my least common multiple. So if I look at 6, 4 doesn't go into 6. So if I'm doing my multiples on the side, I have 6 and then 12. I know 6 goes into 12 and 4 goes into 12. So my least common multiple is 12. So 6 times 2 is 12, and 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 3 is 12, and 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so when I add these up, I'm going to do 10 plus 9, which is 19/12. So we did this last week. This is an improper fraction, so I can't leave 19/12 as 19/12. I have to make it into a mixed number because I need to make sure that my numerator is always smaller than my denominator. So I can do it 2 ways. So I could say to myself, how many times does 12 go into 19, which I know is once. And I know 12 times 1 is 12. And then 19 minus 12 is going to give me 7. So I could do 1 and 7/12. Or if you want, you could set it up. Remember, this means it's a division sign. So I could do how many times does 12 go into 19? Where I would do 12 goes into 19 once. 1 times 12 is 12. And I would get 1 and 7/12. But both of these are the same. And then I would say to myself, can I simplify? And I can't because, again, 7 is a prime number. Okay, if I look at this one, I have 2/3 plus 2/6. So this one is pretty simple because I'm going to start with my bigger denominator, which is 6. Off the bat, I know that 3 goes into 6. So a lot of times people will say, look at 6 and then go 6, 12, and then immediately go to 12. But always start at your first number, which is 6. So it is going to be 6. So 6 times 1 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So for this one, if I have 4/6 plus 2/6, 4 plus 2 is going to be 6/6. So if you have 6/6, we all know that this is one whole. So when you simplify that, you're just going to do equals 1 and then circle it. So 1 is my answer. And then in my last example, I have 3 fractions. So you could either do all 3 or you could do 2 at a time. It's up to you. I am going to do all 3. So I'm going to line them up over here. I'm going to do 1/3, 3/5, and 9/10. Okay, so I need to start with my largest denominator, which is 10. So obviously I'm looking at 10. 10 goes into 10, 5 goes into 10, but 3 does not go into 10. So I have to keep going. And then I have 20 10 goes into 20, 5 goes into 20, but 3 does not go into 20. And then with 30, 10, 5, and 3 all go into 30. So I'm going to set this up. 30, 30, 30. Okay. 10 times 3 is 30, and then 9 times 3 is 27. 5 times 6 is 30, and then 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 10 is 30, and 1 times 10 is 10. So I need to add all of these together. So I know off the bat that 10 plus 18 would be 28, right? 8 plus 0 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2. So then I'm going to do 28 on the side. I'll do 28 plus 27. And 7 plus 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. So I have 55 over 30. Now, remember, this is an improper fraction. So I say to myself, how many times does 30 go into 55? I know it's going to be once. And then, so obviously 1 times 30 is 30. And then 55 minus 30 is going to give me 25 over 30. Now for this one, I can simplify. So I know that the greatest common factor that these two numbers share is 5. So I can divide them by 5, and I would get 25 divided by 5 is 5. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So my final answer is 1 5/6. Also, remember the other way to do this is that you could do it as a division problem. So if I had 55 divided by 30, 30 goes into 55 once. 1 times 30 is 30. I'm going to subtract, and I'm going to get 25. So 1 and 25 over 30. And if you're forgetting how to simplify, I'm going to show you on this page, remember. So if I have 25 and 30, oops, I have 25 and 30, and I do all my factors. So if I do a factor tree over here for 25, I have 5 and 5, and those are both prime. So over here, I'm going to write for 25, 5 times 5. And then for 30, I'm going to do 5 times 6, and 5 is prime. So 6 would be 2 times 3, and then those are prime. So I would do 2 times 3 times 5. Okay, so if I looked up here, this would cancel out, and this would cancel out. So 5 times nothing is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. So it's 5, 6. So that is how I got 1 and 5/6. And my last problem is just a word problem I want to do. You run 1/6 of a mile on Monday, 11/12 of a mile on Tuesday, 7/9 of a mile on Wednesday. If you wanted to run 3 miles, did you reach your goal? So my first thing that I would have to do for this one, obviously, is I need to add them up to see if it's greater or less than 3 miles. So off the bat, I mean, I obviously want you to do this, but I know that 1/6, 11/12, and 7/9 are all less than 1. And there's only 3 fractions, so I know that it's going to be less than 3, but I still need to do the problem anyway. So I have 1/6, 11/12, and 7/9. So turn this page. So I have 1/6. What was it? 1/6, 11/12, 11/12, and 7/9. So we have to find the least common multiple, the common denominator. So I'm obviously starting at 12. 6 goes into 12, 12 goes into 12, but 9 doesn't go into 12. So we'll do 12 times 2, which is 24. 6 goes into 24, 12 goes into 24, but 9 does not go into 24. And then we're going to do 36, and they all go into 36. Okay. So 9 times 4 is 36, and then 7 times 4 is going to give me 28. 12 times 3 is 36, 11 times 3 is 33. 6 times 6 is 36, and 1 times 6 is 6. Okay, so I need to add these all together. I'm just going to do, this would be easier for me to do 24 plus 6. I always try and make a group of 10. 24 plus 6 is 30, and then 30 plus 33 would be 63 over 36. Oh, that's funny, they're backwards. Okay. So I'm going to say how many times is 36 going to 63, and it's going to be 1, and then I have to subtract. So if I do 63 minus 36, it's going to be 1 and 27 over 36, and this could be simplified. I know that my greatest common factor is 9 between 27 and 36. 27 divided by 9 is 3. 36 divided by 9 is 4. So I would get 1 3/4. So my answer to the question is, did you reach your goal of 3 miles? My answer would be no. Okay. Next, very quickly, we are just going to move on to the book. I'm going to just do the first problem with you together, and then you will be good to go on your own. So if I have 5, 6 plus 2/3, remember, you're going to set it up 5, 6 plus 2/3. Okay, so I need to find the least common multiple between 6 and 3. So I always look at my bigger fraction, which is 6. So I'm going to say 3 goes into 6 and 6 goes into 6. So 6 times 1 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to add this, and I'm going to get 9, 6. Really small. So 6 goes into 9 once, right? And there's 3 left over, 1 3, 6. But that can be simplified to 1 1/2. Okay. Everybody got that? Good job.